code work on them. And then we'll be asking them to tune in at a later date and provide results. Give us the results, how they're doing with their exercise level. Good morning, Dana.
Good morning, Helena. This is a great topic for today, and I'm going to start the recording. I am Dana J. Smithers. I'm one of the Emotion Code Divas. Helena Jenikin is my other partner in crime. Today is a really great topic, resistance to exercise, and I'm actually going to be working on Helena today because we've had a little conversation about that. And I think the biggest deal about resistance to exercise, particularly during the holiday times, is time. We don't have enough time. There's more important things I have to do. Or we get to that point where I'm just way too tired to exercise. So we're going to talk about that and give you some of the reasons why you need to exercise and actually what goes on in the body mind when we do exercise. So today's episode is number 49, and we welcome you to share it. If you want to make comments, we're happy to hear those as well. Not only am I an emotion code practitioner, but I am also a certified Reiki practitioner. I particularly love working with animals. So if you have an animal during this holiday time, excuse me, that is not doing too well, maybe had some surgery, or maybe just way too excited. I see a lot of cat videos with the cats up the tree and then kerplunk, the cats go down. So I'm also a certified law of attraction trainer, life coach. I love teaching people about how to deliberately use the law of attraction. So we are talking about the emotion code today. We will be giving you, we'll educate, inspire, and heal and release some trapped emotions from Helena today, as I mentioned. But you can also do this yourself. You can check out Dr. Bradley Nelson's book. He's got a lot of case studies in it. He's got the techniques and tips and all the things that Helena and I do each show. So Helena, without further ado, please introduce yourself.
Hello, Dana. I am Helena Jenikin. I am a certified emotion code practitioner as well as a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I specialize in helping men and women release excess weight, also overcome fears and phobias, especially around the dental issues that people may have, the fear of going to the dentist or those instruments, whatever it might be. And around town, I am known, Dana, as the Stop Smoking Lady. And a little bit later today, I'm going to post a picture of my car with, it's been logoed with the Stop Smoking Lady. And I want to thank you and Michael Lozier and John Inverarity to help me just overcome my blocks of being seen out in the community with my car being lettered. So the emotion code really helped me get to that point so I can become visible, more and more visible.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And I'm just checking that we're live, and we are. Being visible as an entrepreneur, if people don't know about you, how can they possibly buy your services? So that's one of the things that I do work on a lot with when I'm coaching women in business, is that we've got to be visible, right? So we're going to do a lot of that in the new year, working with our entrepreneurs, and we will be talking about exercising. I'm just posting that right now. We will be talking, exercise is important, right? It's what gets us going and gets the energy going. But yeah, we'll be talking about goal setting and how to do that and all of those good things. So, Helena, why don't we just jump right in, because we've got a lot of good material to share today. And we're going to go through right now the 7 of the most important keys that every emotion code practitioner uses when they're conducting a session. And we do this because we know we have first-time viewers. We also have a YouTube channel where people watch this as well. So the first thing that I had to do with you, Helena, was ask for permission.
That's right. You, Dana, have my permission to work with me, and so I can overcome my resistance to exercising.
All right.
On the rebounder that's sitting in my office.
Gathering dust that you showed me. Exactly, right? Well, that's not exclusive to you, right? We know that for sure. So right now, I'm actually going to become Helena's proxy. I'm in one city, Helena's in another city, but I can become her proxy just by having her permission and knowing that this is fine with her. So what happens when I become your proxy?
Well, Dana, when you become my proxy, you're going to become me energetically, and then you're going to be able to ask my subconscious mind answer or questions directly. And those questions are yes or no questions.
Exactly. So one of the first questions that we ask as well is, in terms of a person's, in this case, resistance to exercise, I asked Helena what it was. Often we might get a, 6 or 7, and we'll check in. Helena, right off the bat, 10. Okay, good. Now I will check in to make sure that that in fact is the severity well, we have a conscious mind that tells us one thing, right? I highly suspect that in this case, her subconscious is also going to be telling me that it's a 10 as well for that. And so what I'm going to do is actually do what's called muscle testing. And this is the whole premise of anybody doing any type of energetic tapping into someone's subconscious or trying to do some energetic healing, is that we can muscle test. And it's such an interesting phenomena that with muscle testing, our subconscious always tells us the truth. And you may have seen that demonstrated a few times where people hold out their arm and somebody will muscle test to see whether or not they're getting a true answer, because it's no longer the subconscious that we're working through. When we muscle test, it's the subconscious. So if someone was to take my arm right now and press on it, and if I said my name is Helena, then my arm would go down right away because my subconscious knows that's not the truth. But if I said my name is Dana, my arm is likely to stay there. However, I'm not going to do that for half an hour while I'm doing someone's emotion code session. So my muscle testing looks like this. And Dr. Brad talks a lot about it in the book. He gives a lot of examples. So I muscle test index and thumb together, and then I take in my opposite hand, index and middle finger. My subconscious and I have an agreement that this is a yes. When I'm going to ask the questions, we only ask yes or no questions. We may get other information or prompted to ask something else, but it's still going to involve a yes or no answer. So yes for me, no for that. And Helena, yours is a little bit different.
Mine's a little different. So I have an agreement with my subconscious mind that when I link these two fingers into that way, and I think of the word yes, they lock together. And when I think of the word no, they just pull apart. So that would be a yes, and that is a no.
Exactly. And so what are we testing on? Well, Dr. Brad took about, I'm sure he started with hundreds of emotions, got it down to a couple hundred, and then what he's done is created a emotion code chart of 60 emotions. So how does this work then, Helena? We've got
this emotion code chart, and then when we're working, we're testing, muscle testing, to see if there's a negative trapped emotion that we can release. And we'll be asking questions like, is it in column A or column B? Is it in an odd row or an even row? And then when we get that answer, we'll come down to like a cell of 5 different emotions, and then we can ask them individually. And that way we can actually go through the chart quite rapidly and release those trapped emotions.
And when we release the trapped emotion, what we're actually doing is we are using a magnet.
Mm-hmm.
So a magnet is the perfect tool to demagnetize that energy that's coming up. So whatever that emotion is. So Helena and I use a little bit different magnets. But what we're going to do, since we are working with the energy centers of the body, we work with the governing meridian. This is the big one. There's 12 meridians. We've also got 7 main chakras that Helena and I work with. I work with them a little bit more because I use it a lot in Reiki as well. But what we're doing is when we're releasing it, the technique is this. So from the tip of our lip, we're going over, back down our head. We do it fairly quickly, 3 times. That demagnetizes it. If the person was in the room, we would go from the tip of the lip all the way down to the end of their spine. But since they're not, this is a technique and the way that Dr. Brad has suggested doing it. If it's an inherited emotion, then we're going to do that 10 times. And again, we find that out by asking yes or no questions. And one of the most important things, Helena.
Hydration. Hydration is very important because water in the body allows the answers as a practitioner to come forth more easily and more effectively, more clearly. We know that electricity moves through water very, very rapidly. And since what we're doing is energy, electricity, we want a nice hydrated body. Jana, I find that my clients, I like to have them have a glass of water while we're doing this session, and that they drink a lot of water during the session themselves and especially afterwards.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that if you are muscle testing and you're getting let's just say I said, is it column A and I get a no, and I go, is it column B and I get another no? It's like, okay, time out. I need to drink more. Or Dr. Brad says that your spine can be out of alignment, so you may need an adjustment with that. Those are the primary two reasons that he said, but sometimes you just need to take a break and just relax and just get settled. So, Helena, I'm going to just have a drink of water. I'm going to go ahead and get started on you.
Okay.
And I know that you're going to give some tips and some reasons why we want to exercise and kind of what goes on when we do exercise. So you can kind of be talking to yourself.
Talking to myself, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go ahead. I've got enough information. So the main thing I'm working on with Helena today is the fact that she's got this big rebounder in her room. She knows it works. She says she tones up really quickly. When she does it, she feels good. Endorphins get flying around in her body, but she doesn't have the time, or there's something more important. Shouldn't I be doing this or whatever? But when it comes to our body, exercise is absolutely key to optimal health. I mean, all of the weight release programs that Helena and I offer, we're always bringing exercise in as a component. And, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter really how much exercise you do, but the important thing is to just start, right? So just even walking